So let's continue. The next important principle is there's a difference between be proactive and reacting. Too many times in life, we are responding to what's happening. So there is a kind of event, something that happens in our life. And of course, many times we are responding, which creates, and it is a discussion in the world of science, that there is no really free will. There's only your mind is giving you an impression that you choose it, but they had find out that when you are thinking about what to do, your brain has already made up your mind. But I think that's half of the truth, because I think that we can, as a human being, reflect on what's happening and decide to do something else. We also are persons of person with habits, and we can change these habits also, although it takes a long time. So you can decide now, do I want to react in the same way I reacted yesterday if this event is happening again? And there are certain events that always happen again. So even if it takes a long time, and also there have been kind of things that I wanted to do on a regular basis, not doing once every month or once for a year, but to do them daily. So it took me a while, and sometimes it took me maybe a month or longer until it became a habit to take my time to do this immediately, so that I don't have to catch up so much. So what is important is that we can change our habit little by little by deciding what do I want to do instead. So if we're not satisfied, by taking responsibility for everything, we can choose what do I have to do, where do I have to change, when do I have to do this change, in order to react next time in advance. So then when it's happening, I'm not really reacting, but I am proactive, changing the circumstance maybe, so that when some things happen, I will act in the way I choose before. So there's a different response to the same event. And that's what's all about. It will make a huge difference in your life. Let me check here. Yeah, in connection with this, it's also important to ask the right questions. So always think together with your goals, if you're approaching right by asking the right questions, is this taking me there? What measurements do you have to take to get there? If something is not helping you, how can you change it? So I make the right question, become aware of what it is that you want, and then the right question will come up. If you check it every day, you will not get out of the path, or even then you will come back quick again. The next principle is bring logic in an unlogic world around you. So sometimes to come up with the right questions about how the world is functioning, you have to think the unthinkable. What I mean by this is we thinking that the world is in a kind of an order. So it's beginning and an event is somewhere, it's ending somewhere, and something is creating everything. But what if I'm thinking that the order is completely the opposite? So this will bring you in a position where you start thinking in a different way. Einstein said that we can't find the solution with the way we created the problem. By thinking on the opposite, what you're creating in your mind is really a different way of thinking, so that what brought me here, I need is a new impulse. If this impulse is not coming from outside in any way, I have to do a shift. And the shift is by beginning to asking, what if the opposite of what I'm thinking is truth? And then suddenly you're creating good ideas that will give you the right impulse for a new thing to try. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. It's just to come up with a new idea. And from there, little by little, you will find the right answer. next principle. um, Yeah, it is similar to this. It's about by discovering and thinking of the opposite, you learn to think in a different way. From there, we go to the next one. It's about be conform with things you can control and not with the things you don't have control of. There's a fantastic book about the 7 success principles of Stephen Covey. And I think it was he who was speaking about the circle of influence. So imagine you're in the middle of a circle, and around you make always bigger and bigger circles. And the smaller the circle, the closer the people are to you. So in the first circle, maybe they are your family, and then they are your friends, and then they are people who you really know for a long time. And the bigger the circle, the more people exist there, but also the relationship, the connection is not deeper, but getting less and less. And less it is the connection deep, the less you have influence on them. So if it's really something important, they are not there for you. And this is so important because we are thinking that we have so much influence, but we don't. Even with our closest people, like friends, if it really something counts, many times they're not there. They don't. It's not that they don't care. It's about everybody has his own challenges in life and own difficulties to overcome. So sometimes even if they don't do it for bad thing, they don't have time. And time is so precious, and also the connection. Concentrate on the things you can influence. And there's a saying that God give me the power to change what I can change, and the patience for the things I can't change, and also the wisdom to become aware of the difference. Because so many times we don't get aware that we can't change it. We always thinking, following our hopes that something will change, but some things are not there. So become aware of where you have influence and will not. And this circle will help you to become aware of them. So let's get to the next point. So become aware of your own thoughts and what they imply. Because from there you can, they bring you to the next step. And too many times in life we are mistaking because we are not explicitly becoming aware of what our thought and our belief is based on. So we are implying things that are really not logical. It's just based on many times on hopes, because we are always connected with kind of feeling. We are trying in everything we do to find a feeling of support, something that tells us you're on the right way. The more we get depending from others and getting dependent also because there are things that we don't know, knowledge, connection and everything. The more you are depending, the more you are thinking and hoping that things get the way that they do. But as we have learned, the bigger the circle, the less influence I have. So don't base on this. Base on what you really can build on. So become aware of what you are thinking implies. Only based on this. Everything else, just to be aware of that, you can't, really, it's not really a fundament to build on. Then you will have other thoughts that will help you to become aware of what's the next step that you really have to take. So I will make you another break.